today I thought I would shoot a fun little video of me basically going through some stuff that I just picked up from the pottery studio that just came out of the kiln. I did get a brief look at these pieces when I was there, but I didn't really get a chance to scrutinize them. So yeah, I just thought it would be fun to show stuff that I'm making lately and yeah, just recent stuff that came out of the kiln. The first thing is these little flowers, which I'm making another video about this, but I'm making those up for a candle holder. So those have just been bisque fired, and yeah, more on those in another video. Yeah, so this is a lovely little cup. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking of these as like a matcha cup. Basically, most of the clay that I use comes from Reclaim, so it's like a combination of lots of different clays. So this is one of the first batches of like this batch of Reclaim, and I think it just came out so beautiful with these lovely speckles and how you can see just on the edges of these lines that the clay has just like gotten a little bit more burnished. The texture is gorgeous. And yeah, I love this color. So there's just like 3 spots in the front, and then on the back, there is just a single line, then with 2 spots. I am absolutely so pleased with how these turned out and how they reacted with the glaze. All right, this is in a similar vein. So this is basically a very similar style, but with a white glaze, same clay. This one, it did have a couple of pieces where the clay got bloated. So they kind of look like little blisters here. And you can see that there's another one here. I think this is because this clay has some, it's a clay that I get from Seattle Pottery Supply called Fool's Gold, and it's a lovely clay. But the studio that I fire my stuff at, they said that it's clay that doesn't really play well with their kiln. So this is definitely a second. So this is a piece that I will keep. It's not a piece that I will list, unfortunately. But yeah, I really like it. Other than that, I think that, yeah, I'm so impressed by the speckliness of this clay. All right, this is a fun one. So this is a little bit of a different style, but I am so happy with how this turned out. Yeah, this is just supposed to be a beautiful flower cup, and I think it turned out really, really beautifully. There doesn't seem to be any blistering on this at all, which is fantastic. And then, yeah, you can just see my little maker's mark there for Studio Multitudes. But yeah, I'm so pleased with how that turned out. I'm always worried when I do these kind of like detailed pieces that it's the contrast between the clay and basically that the glaze isn't going to be opaque enough. But in this case, it definitely worked out, and I am very, very pleased with how that turned out. So I'll probably list that one sometime soon. All right, on a very similar note, this is a small little flower cup. Also think that this came out beautifully. Yeah, I'm super pleased with that and how opaque the glaze is, and yeah, just kind of a little bit more of a simple design, but yeah, I love it. I think it's really beautiful. Alrighty, this one is even more simple. It's the same glaze as the first one, and it does seem like this one also came out beautifully. So maybe it's just the combination of this clay and the white glaze. But yeah, I love how this clay plays with this matte kind of robin's egg blue glaze. So it's very simple, just one line through the center, kind of an equator, and then a simple dot. So yeah, I just love the way this turned out. All of these kind of just like mugs that have just the circles is kind of inspired by a trip that I took to Ruby Beach, which is on the Pacific coast in Washington. And the beach is it's stunning. It's one of the most beautiful places on the planet, but there are so many stones that have just been absolutely weathered by, you know, passing through the whole Pacific Ocean. So it just has so many of these like perfectly round stones, and yeah, it just really inspired me. Next is kind of in keeping with the style of the floral mugs, which I really, really love and am so inspired by this in the spring. And yeah, I love the way that this came out. These are supposed to just be like branches or vines with flowers coming down, and my maker's mark came out perfectly. And yeah, the interior also looks really good. So I'm very pleased with that one. And yeah, no blistering or anything. So very happy with that. Alrighty, so this is again part of just part of those kind of this design that's just around these very simple lines and circles. And this is just a small cup, and it's basically each side is just a mirror image. So you have the circle there and the circle there. And this came out really good. I don't know why that other one blistered. There might have just been some a little bit of wet clay, because this one looks totally fine. I'm really pleased with it. Inside looks really nice too. I love how speckled this clay is. Very, very, very beautiful. Okay. So again, kind of in keeping with these other ones, this one does have a couple of blisters in it. I don't know if you can see that there, but there is a little bit of a blister there. So maybe it's nothing to do with the white glaze. It's just some inconsistency in this clay. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this kind of like burnishing. It almost looks like burnt. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but I do like this design. So here it's kind of like the horizontal line with the circle, and here it's just the vertical line with the circle. So I'll probably happily keep this one for myself. That's kind of the joy of like, I'm always trying new things. I love playing with like colors, like mason stains, and so like dyeing the clay itself, playing with slip, playing with different color glazes, different types of glazes, and inevitably you get a lot of seconds. So I'm always happy to keep them and then give them out to other people if they want them. But it means that for every kind of like collection that I make, I always keep a few. All right, so this one is back to just this like very simple circle design with the white glaze. And this one actually came out pretty nice. I don't see any blistering on this one at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, maybe this is, I can't really tell if that's just, I think that might just be the clay. But yeah, really pretty. Again, heavily speckled clay. I really like that though. So I am pleased with that. And yeah, just a very simple design with a circle with a line through it that wraps around the whole entire thing. A little bit more of the same here. I really like this one. So this one does have a lot of that like burnishing, kind of like the clay got is like different colors here, but I actually really like that. I don't mind it as long as it doesn't kind of look like really uneven. Sometimes like you can see here that the glaze got a little bit darker, but on the other one, I feel like it almost looks like a stain. Whereas this one, I think it just looks like it had a very interesting trip through the kiln. Yeah, I love this. I am such a fan of this glaze and clay combination. So I think I'll make more pieces with it. But yeah, just on this one side, it has this very simple kind of like elongated rectangle with 2 dots. And then on the other side, it has another elongated rectangle with kind of like asymmetrical dots as well. So yeah, I'm actually a huge fan of this one. Yeah, I feel like with many things in life, you want it to be like purposefully disheveled. And I think that this one definitely falls into that category. So I'm very happy with this. And yeah, Maker's Mark came out really nicely. Everything else looks great. All right, so this is back to kind of the florally designs, and I think this one came out really pretty. No blistering or anything like that, so I'm very pleased. And this one just says, I contain multitudes, and then it has kind of this floral design all around it. And yeah, and then just I think that again the glaze came out pretty opaque. I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, I think that I Contain Multitudes is also very legible. Again, you never really know how this is how the lettering especially will turn out. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that. I love that. Um, Alrighty, here is just a teeny tiny kind of like cortado cup version of this kind of robin's egg blue glaze on top of this speckled clay. Maker's Mark looks beautiful. Yeah, I feel like this one came out really, really nice. Again, just simple line through it with an unglazed circle. And yeah, I think that looks really, really beautiful. Okay, this one I was very excited about. So this one is another floral design, but the floral design is a little bit more complicated than the other ones. And so it has that full flower here and then half of the flower there. And I think that came out really beautiful. I'm very pleased with it. I do wish that it was a little bit more speckled. Not sure, not sure why it isn't as speckled as some of the other ones, but hey ho, that's that's what happens in the kiln. But yeah, really happy with the opacity of the glaze, and yeah, just plain white inside. So yeah, very pleased with that. And then last one, definitely did not save the best for last because I did not know which one was which. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I like this one too. Again, back to that very, very speckly clay. And this one just has 2 dots right on the front there and then a simple line through it. So just very, very simple. But yeah, I think that this is all about this like very, very speckly clay. And yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I think that these came out really, really nice. I think that would just be so beautiful with like a cup of matcha. And yeah, I love textures with clay and glaze. So this clay, I just love, yeah, doing designs like this where you basically have like a glossy glaze on top of, just on glazed clay, and you can really feel the textures, and it feels like, you're drinking out of, a piece of the earth. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think there were only 2 pieces that are not going to make the cut. But yeah, I'm happy, very happy to keep these. Yeah, just always keep little pieces from each collection that don't quite pass muster. But like I said, I'm a huge fan of this kind of like robin's egg blue with this clay. So the next time that I'm get some bisqueware out, I'm going to use more of this blue. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.